I often quote literary people or historical people in some of the things that I do, speeches I make. And I'm going to start off with a comment made by Mark Twain. I think it's one of the most powerful comments I've ever heard. The two most important days in a person's life are the day that you're born and the day that you know the reason why. Well, switching gears and trying to stay in that same vein, the two most important days in the town of Fairmont's governmental operations for me is Veterans Day and Memorial Day. I know Christmas is important for many, many people, and I know July 4th is important and all of that, but the last time I checked, I've never been shot at by anybody. I've never had to lay in a ditch at 23 degrees below zero. I've never had to be on a boat for 10 days going across the ocean and left my wife or girlfriend or mother or father. I've never had any of those things happen. So the least I can do as mayor of this town is to provide a remembrance, memorable event to honor all those people who served and are still living, and then the memory of those who served and did not make it through. And I'm sitting here as the mayor of Fairmont, Charles Kemp, proud to be next to a veteran today. He is going to be our guest speaker tomorrow on Tuesday the 11th at our Veterans Day event. He's filled in for us before in an emergency situation when our speaker did not come. And just real quick, he's a retired first sergeant, local fellow, grew up and lived in Chadbourne, became an Army recruiter and then went overseas, served 2 tours in Iraq, 2 tours in Afghanistan, Bronze Star 2 times for meritorious achievement. He's been there, done that. And it's an honor for me to sit with him and hear what he has to say today on veterans issues and veterans affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to have you listen to and watch our town manager, retired U.S. Army veteran, Jerome Chestnut.
Yes, sir. As always, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and all the listeners out there. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. And tomorrow we're going to hold a ceremony here in the town of Fairmont, down at our Heritage Center at 11 o'clock. We would love to see each and every one that is able to come out and support this event. The mayor, myself, other citizens, other board members often talk about the value of veterans in our town. And Mr. Mayor, tomorrow, I'm going to share more of my story as a veteran. A lot of us do not walk around with veterans hats and jackets and lapel pins all the time. But you get to see our veterans tomorrow. You'll get to see myself. You'll get to see other members of the board who are veterans. You'll get to see veterans that are in the community. It's going to be a really good event. There's going to be some former commissioned officer or retired commissioned officers there, and some retired commissioned officer, non-commissioned officers there. We look forward to this event. Again, you'll get to hear my story, a little bit of where, how I became on this journey to be a veteran. You're going to get to hear me talk about some of the things I went through. And you'll also get to talk about how veterans are a vital member of our communities and what they're capable of doing. And also, finally, I'm going to offer a call to action for our veterans to participate in events in our local community. And I think that's going to work really well, Mr. Mayor.
I can't stop the video and have the camera turn around, because it would disrupt what we're doing. But less than 10 feet from where I'm sitting right now, in my office, on top of a filing cabinet to my right, is a Marine cap, a U.S. Marine cap.
Yeah.
A student of mine who left Fairmont High School and went into the Marines came to my house one day, years later, and gave it to me. Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'll admit that right off the top. But I know that when they give you a uniform in the Marines, and they give you a hat in the Marines, and a rifle, and you've got to say that prayer to that rifle in your barracks every night at Paris Island, you don't give that stuff up. And there's no such thing as a retired Marine. You're a Marine until they put you in the ground.
That's right.
That's the most cherished possession that I have. I was drafted in 1964. Unfortunately, did not go because I was in the hospital. They didn't know that, so they drafted me. No one bothered to tell them I was in Duke Hospital, so the college sent a note and the draft board drafted me. And I couldn't go. The doctor wrote him a note, and I got reclassified 4F. I would have gone.
Yeah.
I really would have. I may not have come back the same position, mentally or physically. Might not have come back at all.
Sorry.
But I would have gone because I believe in this country and I love this country.
Most definitely. And I think, Mr. Mayor, you know, we have to appreciate those who volunteer to do the hardest things and the most crucial things that our country and our leaders assign to us. You know, you don't have a lot of choices. And at the end of the day, you got to understand that, you know, our hopes and our leadership is that they're putting us on point for the nation to not only protect and serve the constituents in the United States, but to push democratic policies across the world because we think that's what works best. You know, so taking a hour out of your time to support this event and acknowledge the sacrifices that our veterans and their families have made. One of the things that you're going to hear me talk about tomorrow is how veterans are apart from their families when they're on point for the country, and how we as the civilian populace now can support their families during the absence of their family members who are serving, you know, down on the southern border, in some of our population centers here in America, in Korea, in Germany. We have soldiers all over the world protecting and serving our interests as citizens. So there's no better way to offer our support to them by showing up to these events, recognizing them, and sharing their stories with them.
There's no admission fee. It's not going to cost you a dime. You're not going to have to buy any veteran lunch tomorrow, or breakfast, or anything like that. All we ask is you bring your body and anybody else you'd like to have come along. And instead of coming down to a town issue forum or a town board meeting, or coming up here to the town board, town office, to have a conversation with Mr. Chestnut and I about something you don't agree with, all you got to do is walk in the Heritage Center and sit down for an hour.
That's right.
And be around real heroes. Real heroes. Now that guy over there may be 75 years old and look all kind of grizzly, and he ain't the kind of guy you want in a suntan and a bathing suit out on the beach. Probably not. Or that lady. She may not be the kind of beauty queen that you just. But at one time, they served their country and probably were put in harm's way.
Most definitely.
And did some really scary things.
Most
Some
definitely.
things they probably won't want to tell you about. Least you could do is come and say thank you for what you did. I'm asking you to do that as a personal favor. Please come to Veterans Day tomorrow. It's going to be a great, great program. I promise you.
Most definitely.